Hello, everyone. This is Catherine, and I recently gave a talk at the California Society of Cosmetic Surgeons, and the talk was entitled How to Generate More Leads. And I got really good feedback from it, and I think it's really timely right now because of what's happening out in the world. So I wanted to just run this by you and see if I can give you some good strategies that work right now without breaking the bank. So the biggest challenge is there are just too many marketing channels. You have to be everywhere in today's world, and you're just going to run out of time, money, and energy trying to be everywhere. So I have this strategy that works very well to make you look like you're everywhere. And that's what we need. We need to keep you top of mind in front of the patients who need rejuvenation, and your name has to pop into their head. So hopefully this will do it. So I really hope you have a marketing plan. You should have one every year starting January 1 about what you're going to do and map it out. If you don't have that, please have one. And even though you're guessing at some of this, it's much better to have a plan with a budget than winging it all year, because then you're doing this emotionally, or when you're in fear because the phone stopped ringing. You're just in better shape when you strategically map something out and then tweak as you go. So the way I like to look at it is 50% is your external marketing, and that is your Google reviews, photos, social media, YouTube videos, link building, press releases, directories, social media advertising, blogs and articles, Google AdWords and website, and of course, SEO. SEO was getting bashed at this conference, and I'm hearing that a lot lately. It's not that SEO is dead. It's just that it's getting more and more complicated to get ranked organically. So a lot of the surgeons are transferring over to social media, but that has its own pros and cons. So you have to pick your poison, as they say. But I would definitely continue to do SEO, but frankly, do both, okay? So one thought about this, Google reviews and before and after photos, those two are the most important for anything you could be doing regarding attracting new patients. You know why? Because that's what the patients want. They want to see your photos and they want to read your reviews. So please get Google reviews, at least Google reviews. You should get them from everybody, but if you're going to prioritize and only do a couple things, highly recommend reviews and photos, okay? Now, that was 50% of your budget. The other 50% should be internal marketing. I'm not sure why you all ignore your current patient list, but you have thousands of patients who know, like, and trust you. I guarantee if you would nurture them and develop a relationship with them, they will come back again and again. They'll bring their friends with them. They are such a great back end to our industry. So with them, you want to, again, do social media. Social media is not just about attracting new patients. It's also about bringing back your current or your old patients who already know you, and they want to know what's going on in your life, and they can really bump your revenues up. Then there's patient retention. I just love retention because it's a lot cheaper, easier, and faster to get a current patient to come back than get a brand new patient to get to say yes to you. That's tough. Then there's referrals, of course, a loyalty club, events. I don't know, events, they used to be a really big deal. I would say in today's world, do them if you have that kind of clientele that will show up in the evenings and leave their husband and kids at home. It's getting difficult to do those, but it's worth it it's worth testing it. Then there's direct mail. I know that's old school, but you might want to do it for birthday. And then there's texting, of course, and email. The thing about texting is patients love texting. Humans like to communicate quickly in today's world. So I wouldn't fight that. I would figure out how to implement it into your practice. So we've got half external and then half internal. So here's my rule on this. If you can't track it, don't invest in it. Before, we used to throw a ton of money at billboards, TV, magazines. And I would say to the surgeon, so how'd it go? Like, what was your ROI? And he'd look over at Susan. Hey, Susan, how do we do with that ad? And she's like, we got a couple calls. That's not how you do it. You really need data to make really good business decisions. In the old days, people used to say, oh, you've got to, your ROI's got to be 4 to 1. You have to spend $1 and get 4 back. I'm thinking maybe that'll happen most of the time. If you could at least break even, at least you built up your name recognition, you got your name out there, more top of mind. But because we have that back end, that patient that you broke even on, she's still worth a fortune to you because she can return again and again, refer her friends, give you a great review, approve her before and after photos, and share you on social media. So she's worth a ton to you if you nurture her. Okay. Now, because of all this technology, most of us have gone kicking and screaming into technology because it's like the best thing that ever happened and the most frustrating thing because you have to learn technology. But everything nowadays is tracked. Every move we make is trackable. So you would do the same. You would just use tracking phone numbers, easy to do, use promotional codes, use bit.ly links or UTMs. You can just ask your technical people about those, but there are those little codes you're putting on everything to follow a patient around or try to identify who was on your website, who clicked on what. There's tracking software galore nowadays. Google Analytics, a lot of times your website people do not share the Google Analytics with you, but you really want to watch them yourself because that's real accurate data. And it's your email address with your password. So you should have access to it. And then every single app that you use has analytics attached to it. So there's no reason for us not to be tracking everything going on, especially when it comes to spending money, because you want to know what you got back from it. So here's I think of this every single day. The key to success is not doing more. It's doing more of what works. More times now than not, when I go to a practice, I'm looking at what they're spending money on, but then where is the money coming in from? And I want to make sure those two match. Okay. So here's what I would do if I were you. Before you spend another dime on anything, first, follow your current successes. Just pull simple reports called revenues by procedure, revenues by referral source, revenues by zip code. Just even you started with those three. Do you see what you're finding now? Because you can skew their data if you're being anecdotal. You can get a lot of phone calls from something, but did they actually turn into paid procedures is the bigger question. So I like to look at, give me all the surgeries you did, and let's reverse engineer. Where did they come from? That's much better data. So what you'll find is a nice mix. Typically, this is what happens. A third came from SEO, website. Another third is now coming from social media. These numbers are quickly changing. And then word of mouth and current patients. Those would be the top priorities that I would concentrate on. And now I'm going to show you how to get leads from these groups without breaking the bank. So here's what you do. You are the most comfortable when you're in your office on your playground, being the boss, being professional, and doing a consultation. You've done consultations 400 times. You know it well. You're very articulate. You're very comfortable with it. I would use that scenario to then have a patient. I like to use a real patient because I think you'll be more authentic then. Just a patient who's coming in, let's say for a breast aug, and just ask them, do you mind if we videotape you at your consultation? I just would really like to show patients what that experience would be like. And if the patient says, sure, absolutely, no problem, terrific. If she says, oh, I'm a little squeamish about that, say, well, what if we just show the back of your head? And because it's not about videotaping the patient, it's about videotaping you talking to the patient, being your expert self. So, and just be sure to get a consent on this. So you do your typical patient consultation like you always do. You'll have a staff person holding up either a video camera or an iPad or iPhone, I guess. iPad would probably be better. Just make sure it's stable and your audio is fantastic. Now, you have this like B-roll, as they call it. So let's say you have a 20-minute video now on a breast aug consultation. This is what you're going to do with it. We call this repurposing. So we're going to fish out the recording of it. And this is easy to do. There are a ton of video editors out there in the world that charge pennies to do this. So you grab the recording, the audio out of it, and you can start your own podcast. I don't recommend it unless you're committed because you have to pump this out every week. It's not easy. You can put it on your website. You can Twitter it. And please don't forget about LinkedIn. As the economy tightens, you want to attract patients who are least affected by the economy and last affected by the economy. And it seems to me LinkedIn, at least most people are employed. So I would definitely add that to your repertoire. Okay, so that was the audio. Now you're going to take the audio and have it transcribed. And it's amazing. You're going to have 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 words, and that's killer content. And with that, you write articles and you put them on free directories on the internet, like articles.com. There are a bunch of them. You make blog posts from it. You do press releases from it. And again, you can put press releases all over the internet. They're often free or minimal cost. You can answer questions on RealSelf. And again, LinkedIn, you can start your own newsletter. And it's so simple to, now that you have all the words, just have a newsletter on one section of it and have those newsletters come out regularly. Okay. Now we take the video. Video is everything in today's world. Please get used to it, get comfortable with it because it's here to stay. And now you grab the video and look at all the places you can put it. It's Facebook video, Instagram stories, YouTube long videos, YouTube shorts, LinkedIn, of course, Vimeo, Instagram Reels, TikTok. Video is huge, so please use it. And then your staff was also going to take still photos because you still want to use those as well for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Okay. So do you see how one piece of content, a simple 20-minute consultation, became 21 pieces of content all over these different platforms? And it's even better than that because you're going to want to repurpose it even more. So here's what you do. You get your videographer, and you could piece this out because typically the patient will say something like, how do I know what size to do? Like, how will we know what size to choose? And you answer that question. You can pull that answer out of your video, and now you run it through your content creation machine on just that one question. So it's breast aug sizing, let's say. How do you know which size is right for you? And you run it through this whole thing. Another one is, doctor, can you tell me what we're talking about for downtime? Because I do have to work. You pull that part out about downtime. Now you run it through the machine. And this one's about breast aug downtime. Do you see what I mean? So this becomes not just 21, it becomes 42 and over 100 something. That's how you spit content all over the internet, and your name keeps showing up in all sorts of places. Now, here's another caveat. If you get results from all those platforms, if you see people clicking on it, sharing it, liking it, commenting on it, that's called proof of source. That means you have hit something and they're interested in it. Now you can advertise. Everyone starts advertising by throwing something out there and seeing if it works. Test it first on the free content creation machine. Then if it works, advertise. And advertising you would want to do it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. They all have advertising platforms that you can boost the posts, that kind of thing. But the caveat here is test it first before you start throwing money at something. Okay. But another issue with advertising, I'm sorry to say, it can't be about you. It has to be all about the patient. So you need killer graphics that are eye-catching. So when people are scrolling like crazy, they stop and look. And then it's got to have really good headlines, really good copy. And I'm sorry to say, it needs a really good offer. So, you see here, these people know what they're doing, $1,000 off. I don't love to advertise this way, but that's how advertising works. By the way, a caveat, never do black ink on blue background. You can barely read that. You want this to be drop dead easy to read. But that is that. So now you say, how in the heck am I going to do all this? And the good news is the only part you're going to do is what you do all day anyway. And that is to do a consultation with a prospective patient. That's all you're going to do. Your team or your outsourced team is going to do all of this slicing and dicing for you. And here's some good news. Canva.com has made this easy for anybody to be a video editor or a graphic designer or the creative piece of your marketing. It's crazy how much you can do on Canva. I think it costs like $15 a month, and it's amazing. So you're going to use Canva for the creative side, and you're going to use AI. And I'll tell you where this fits in. You can even repurpose even more. So you have all of this content. Let's say you had a 10,000 word consultation. You can put it in AI and say, regenerate this with a more casual voice. Regenerate this talking to a 40-year-old female. Regenerate this talking to a 60-year-old male. It is crazy what you can do there. So you're just massively producing content that you can then run through the content machine. And lastly, please do not forget about your current patient list. Email them every time you do something. Email them what you're up to. I wouldn't send just a monthly email newsletter. It's just not enough. People need to see you more often than that. But what I love about email is if it's interesting, patients will love to read it, but you can also keep reminding them, forward to a friend, share with a friend, tell a friend, bring a friend. That's how you grow your practice organically. You just keep your patients interested and engaged, and they'll come back and bring their friends with them. So I hope that was helpful. If you need more, you can hit that QR code and you'll go to my website. If you want, you can schedule a 30-minute strategy call with me. I'm happy to help you figure some of this out. And just go to my website. It's KatherineMaley.com. I hope that was helpful, and we'll talk again soon.
The fastest way to success is to model other successful surgeons who have what you want, but you can only see their results, not the path they took to get there. So you continue to jump from one thing to another, hoping to find something that will work for you too. But it rarely does. So try this shortcut instead. It's guaranteed to move you forward. I compiled my intellectual property to grow cosmetic revenues, everything I've gleaned over the years, into one playbook of the most successful practices and what they do to win. Go to cosmeticpracticevault.com and let's grow your cosmetic revenues.